Hello everyone, it's Annette Green back again, working in my weekly 2023 memory keeping planner from Elizabeth Craft Designs. This is the vintage black full-size planner. Every week I am doing one page in my planner, and I have a playlist from all the weeks prior, but we are all the way up here on week 25. Last week I did this page on going to the Eric Carle exhibit and how I did these watercolory kind of tissue pieces in the background, sort of inspired by Eric Carle. So if you missed that one, check that out. But here we are. Now, week 25 for me has been just a really busy work week, and if you stay tuned to the end of the video, you will see a little peek at what I'm doing, what I've been up to, what I'm getting ready for, and all that. So without further ado, let's get started on 25. I do have a plan because I've been working so much and it's just kidding and mundane stuff, but I always take time out to exercise. I take a lot of walks during the week. I ride my bike, I run. So I just decided to gather up the pictures that I had taken on walks. And it's just nature stuff. You know, there's a rusty fire hydrant that looks kind of cool, an old water tower that's now rusty and abandoned, sweet little turtle here walking on the trail with me, so I gave my shoe as a comparison in size there, and then some baby ducks and geese. We're seeing a lot of that right now in the season. I also have this little kitty that was sitting on a rail, just a tiny little kitten meowing as I walked by. I don't know if I'm going to use that photo or not. I think I'm going to use these four. And then I have this one of just some wildflowers, like daisy kind of flowers growing near the trail. Before I get any further though, I always get the question and I always like to answer it just in case you never saw it before. This is the type of printer that I use right here at home, and it's nothing super fancy, and I just gang up all my photos on one sheet of photo paper. I do have a video which I'll link below on how I actually do that, because a lot of people ask that as well. Okay, I grabbed my little Empress Mini here. This is my Anna Griffin Empress Mini die cutting machine because I want to try something out with my numbers this week, and that's what the picture of the daisies is for, the wildflowers. I am going to see how this looks to cut out my 25 right out of the photo. I've not done that before. I think that might look kind of cool. We may use the negative, I don't know, but I'm going to see how that looks and give you a look at that as well. Okay, I did have to run it through a second time because I was having a little trouble getting it out, and that's just because photo paper is a little thicker than our normal cardstock that we would use. But that looks kind of pretty, but this also looks kind of pretty too, right? It just depends on what's underneath it. So I'll make that decision later. Just in case you're wondering, I am using the Stitched Letters and Numbers set from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Okay, so just so you can see what I've been playing around with, I wanted to see which one of these I liked better. What do you think? I think I like this one. I like this a lot, but, you know, and it may be a decision I'll make when we get down to the end of this whole plan here, but just so you can see where I'm going here, I've got my number 25. I don't know if it's going to go up there or not. I think so. I have my 4 photos. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to have my photos more up here, and I am going to mat these, of course. And I think I want my 25 down here because I'm having this idea that I want to do some watercolor on these stemmed flowers. This is from my die, the Stemmed Flowers die, right there. I've just used 2 different styles, but I've cut this one twice that looks like a daisy. And also you may have noticed that I used my little postage stamp die set. I used the smallest one here with one of the insets for that, and that's the one I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with. I like the little daisies in there. This is just like too many squares. So I think this softens it up a little bit. But I did grab my watercolors, and I'm going to play around with a little bit of this down here. I don't think I really need like a ton of journaling because it's just nature. So we'll see. We do have this open space here, so I have some stamps over here I want to do a little something with. But let's watercolor these flowers first. Okay, we'll zoom in a little tight here, and I've got my Elizabeth Craft Designs watercolors here ready. I'm just going to spray all of them, you know, because I don't know what I'm going to use. I'm just going to spray them all with water to get them kind of wet. And then I have my little water bowl here and a couple of paintbrushes. So what I want to do with clean, clear water first is do a little wash. Let's just do one at a time here. See how this goes. All right, and do a little wash, just water. Now I have die cut these today out of Bristol. You could use soft finish white cardstock, of course. That's wonderful. I just had Bristol out from something else that I'm working on over here. You could use watercolor paper, anything you like. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of mimic those daisies, and I'm mixing just a couple of shades of yellow over here if you can't see it. But I'm just going to touch the centers. I'm looking over at those daisies over there in my photo. Just touch the centers, just dab. It's meant to be very loose. And then if I want to encourage any kind of flow, I can add a little more water. You know, the middle of a daisy is not a perfect center. And then I'm going to make sure this is nice and wet. Now there's a little yellow still on my brush, and that's okay. That's kind of nice actually, because I want to pick up some green now. I'm going to mix a couple of shades of green just to get a middle, not so bright green color, and then I will just sort of touch that. I am no watercolor expert for sure, so I just know that I like it loose and easy and not perfect. And the looser you are and the quicker you move, the more organic and natural it will feel. So I'm pretty happy with that one. I might do a little something around the outside edge of this. We'll see. So I'm going to continue to do a few others, and then we'll let these dry and I'll come back. Alright, I did go in and do quite a bit more. I put in a little more green, a little dark green here and there, very loose, again, nothing that I took a lot of time with. And I also didn't like the really hard centers of just the yellow, so I did blend that out with a little more deeper yellow with almost a little bit of orange. And then I took some just basic watercolor pencils basically and did a little shading and stroking, and that looks pretty good. However, I like it even better as a comparison when I ink around the edges. So I'm going to take the time to do that. My other one I went ahead and did in these colors, a little bit of red plus that yellow, and a same inking around the edges. So I've grabbed this sheet of dark gray cardstock, and I've decided rather than putting a photo mat behind each individual photo, we're just going to put it behind all of them. This will gain us just a little more room also on the page for some added embellishment or some words or stamping or something. So get these on here and I'll cut all the way around everything. Okay, and this is one of those teaching moments. I am not ashamed to show when I don't like something and I have to redo it. When I went to lay these down here, I just didn't like how grungy they looked. I don't know. It didn't appeal to me that much. So I did do them over. I eliminated the red in this one and just kept it very simple and soft and yellowy white. And I left these more bright and white rather than inking those edges. I think I'm happier with that for sure. So I don't know, what do you guys think? You'll have to let me know. Did you like it grungy? Do you like it this way? I'm certainly going to save these for something else. Okay, I have grabbed the Journal Phrases 1 by David stamp set, and I am I've stamped it out with a medium gray color, and I'm just kind of cutting out the phrases that I want. I'm just going to pick a few here. And there is a little line around each one that helps you cut out. You can cut out right on that line. I'm cutting just outside that line, just a little bit. And of course I'll ink the edges. Let's see, what else do I want? Love this, I thought I saw right here. Love this, and happy place, lovely day. Okay. Great thing about this stamp set, of course, is that you have the entire thing stamped out, and you can save it for cutting out those other phrases whenever you need them. And I've just stamped on that leftover bit of Bristol that I did the die cut flowers out of, and I'm going to ink my edges with Vintage Photo, which is what I've been using on the page, and some other things here. Okay, taking shape here, I've got my phrases that I like. I have them sort of placed here. I still need to do some hole reinforcements, and I think I'm going to use this same green here, so I'll go pick some of those in a minute. But let's just take a look at the plan here. We may have to do a little work here with some of these extra pieces, cut these things apart to get them on here. Yeah, I don't want this to look exactly the same coming down here, so I may cut these apart. But I think this is taking a nice shape for sure for the layout. For my hole reinforcements, I have decided on these little squiggly small circles, and those come from the first reinforcement variety pack of hole reinforcers, and so I have those down in that same green, and I'm going to get the rest of this on the page here. I've got my photo down, I've got my word strips going, and I was just about to glue this down, and I thought, before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping just for some filler. So I grab my Bloom stamp set here, and I'm going to grab this leaf right here. I will do a little bit of background stamping just to kind of fill in just a little bit. Grab some green ink, and since I'm going to be stamping on a page that has stuff on the other side, I want to make sure that I have this cushion under here. You can use a stamp platform, same thing, that has the little cushion in it. So I have some green ink ready. I've got my stamp mounted here, and I'm looking at this, so I'm going to get some leaves stamped here. Okay, worked out pretty well. Okay, and so this was going to lay here, that's nice. And of course we're going to work in our flowers, so we don't want too much stamping back here, just enough to fill in. So maybe we'll do just a little bit more, like over here, maybe come in this direction. And then one more, maybe coming in from over here. Okay, we don't care about that. That's fine. All right, I think that's good. Okay, for this last part here, I'm just going to let the camera run as I go and figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to speed it up for you to get just this last bit on here. Alrighty, I'm happy with that. This is how my page finished out. So let's get into the planner. And there we go, looking good. You know, sometimes you just have to put some photos of your favorite things. Maybe nothing really happened that week, but if you took a walk and you took a few pictures, that would be great for your weekly photos. So I hope this inspires you. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you for watching, and if you want to stick around, I'm going to show you what I got going on over here. First we'll look over here because this is my little staging area to show me everything that needs to be in each page kit, little baggie for the pages. Now what this is, I will pop a picture up here if you haven't seen it. This is for my planner class that I'm teaching in Illinois at One Paper Place in Frankfort, Illinois this July, coming up in a couple of weeks. But you can see here down on the floor I've got all my little baskets full of all my little die cut borders from my lace border set. I've got some extras down here in baggies just in case. Here on my other side of my table, see, that's where I film over there. I've got all these little baskets and bins. I've got little words cut out. I've got things pre-stamped. I've got all these die cuts ready to go. There's 60 in each pile. All these little baskets with little baggies and brads and reinforcements and string. It's a big job. Die cuts and more die cuts and more die cuts. And then of course all the page dies and all kinds of stuff going on here. So if you're not seeing me super active on social media, this is exactly why right here. I have taken pictures of all the pages as they need to be cut apart and little close-ups to remind me you know, where I cut things from pages. I have all kinds of notes on each individual picture as I'm kitting. So busy, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to teaching in person once again. And so I thank you again for joining me. If you want to check out, I did a little video on that planner class, and I will link to that below in my description, so you can watch that if you haven't seen it yet. It kind of shows you just a really quick little promo view of the class project. Okay, thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next week. Take care.